Still not over the fact that my New Zealand trip got postponed indefinitely, but that didn't stop my visit to Cape Verde, more specifically the island of Boa Vista, from being fucking awesome. The landscape is breathtaking, the people are incredible, and the weather, fuck me. If you're ever intending to visit this archipelagic nation, I suggest you don't do what I did and get your shoulders covered in tattoos 2 weeks prior, because you'll have to avoid the West African sunlight with the same ruthless diligence I employ in the name of evading genuine happiness. Evie spends most of her time caring for her comatose mother. Her downtime is mainly filled with co-hosting a podcast themed around supernatural occurrences alongside her friend Justin, who during a recording of their show titled The Undertone presents Evie with an email sent by an unknown source containing 10 audio clips shrouded in eerie shit. As the podcast progresses, our hosts work their way through said audio clips, which triggers paranormal-esque behaviour in Evie's gaff that corresponds to her life in the same fashion that my hotel's all-inclusive bar runs parallel with me nearly full-sending myself and a quad bike off a cliff, which would have resulted in royally fucking up a sea turtle's afternoon. As a technical exercise, Undertone certainly earns its flowers. The audio engineering in particular is outstanding. For example, Evie and Justin don't record their podcast in person, it's done online, so Evie has to don a pair of over-ear headphones to hear Justin speak. This meant that sound designer David Gertzman had to mimic how your hearing changes during the transition from regular acoustics to high fidelity, and he did so perfectly. As far as my cochlears are concerned, no set of cans are 100% noise cancelling. I believe they dampen at best. Mr. Gertzman seems to agree and incorporates elements of horror into it with great success. When she's wearing the headphones, it's hard to decipher where the ominous sounds are coming from, be it the audio files, Evie's household, or through Justin's microphone as he's experiencing a similar horror. Regardless, this technique agrees with the movie and complements the stellar cinematography. It is such a mindfuck, and I say that in a positive manner. The camera work is helmed by Graham Beasley, who abandons the status quo between positive and negative space. Traditionally speaking, the former, which in this case is Evie, takes centre stage and spotlight, whilst the latter simply serves as background. Undertone doesn't adhere to such principles, as it frequently places our protagonist on the frame line, so the majority of the screen is occupied with whatever room the camera angle provides. This automatically encourages you to look for unsavoury shit lurking within the dimly lit set, which instantly inspires pareidolia. Was there something skulking around? Did your mind fabricate something out of nothing? Fuck knows, but what's unequivocal is that such a technique, combined with the aforementioned audio engineering, creates an atmosphere worthy of acknowledgement. However, it saddens me to say that the movie fails to fully utilise its unique ambiance. Undertone's runtime clocks in at 94 minutes, but felt way longer because it never deviates in tone, which, as the seconds passed, transformed its aura into pacing issues and eventually boredom. I've got no idea why creative opted for this direction. My initial thought was laziness, my secondary thought was budget awareness, but that doesn't make a fuck ton of sense. Yes, the project only had $500,000 worth of funding, but the whole movie took place in one location, which happened to be debutante filmmaker Ian Tuasan's childhood home, and despite being a rated 15, contained no intricate violence or gore. Also, the talent's salary wouldn't have dented that $500,000. Aside from a small handful of voice actors, there are only 2 on-screen cast members, one of which was mostly bed-bound with extremely limited dialogue. Any twat could nail that role, and the other was Nina Kiri, who did a great job as Evie. Her performance was very captivating. You felt every single ounce of emotion she was displaying, and I couldn't help but be immersed in her character's narrative, meaning that any negative critique I express towards Undertone has nothing to do with Kiri. The climax was unsatisfactory and messy as fuck. You've seen this type of conclusion executed way more professionally in endless examples of supernatural horror movies. Yes, the vibe Undertone formulated somewhat deviated from the saturation I have forever associated with this genre, but the way it was implemented had me leaving my screening more frustrated than a genophobia's dildo.